Starting from October 1, 2023, the EU's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, CBAM, officially started the transitional phase. Steel is one of the first 6 sectors impacted by CBAM during this initial phase. During the transitional phase from October 2023 to the end of 2025, importers in the EU will need to report the number of goods affected by CBAM and the associated emissions, including both direct and indirect emissions from consumed electricity. CBAM will significantly affect many steel industry businesses. Of the 4 key export goods from Vietnam to the EU including aluminum, steel, cement, and fertilizer, steel products constitute up to 96% of the total value. Steel exports to the EU are on the rise. In 2022, the EU imported steel from Vietnam worth $2.1 billion. In the first 8 months of 2023, Vietnam exported 7.38 million tons of iron and steel worth $5.69 billion, an increase of 24.4% in volume over the same period last year. In particular, exports of iron and steel of all kinds to the EU market more than doubled compared to the same period last year and reached 2.31 million tons. Meanwhile, Vietnam's average emissions from steel production are relatively high, approximately 2.51 tons of CO2 per ton of raw steel, compared to the global average of 1.85 tons of CO2 per ton of crude steel. Moreover, with the average electricity consumption for steel production being around 400 to 600 kilowatt-hours per ton of steel, the emissions from electricity consumption taken from the national grid for 1,000 tons of steel reach about 288 to 433 tons of CO2. To accompany steel industry businesses in Vietnam in their transition to using renewable energy and reducing greenhouse gas emissions, Phong Energy Group continues to implement the Power Purchase Agreement (PPA) model. This flexible cooperation model allows businesses to use solar power at a lower cost and meet emission reduction requirements, ESG practices, and sustainable development without requiring initial investment in system operation capital. The PPA model has many benefits for businesses. Utilize sustainable energy without spending funds by utilizing the factory's unused roof. Actively reduce energy costs. Long-term contracts that restrict increasing energy price risks. There is no need to worry about system operation and maintenance. Comply with green certification and global environmental standards. Corporate social responsibility for brand. Many leading enterprises, including major companies like Vinamilk, Chemnia, Dewey Tan, and Tin Industries, under Infat Holdings, have chosen this model. The developed systems meet international ISO standards. Many of these systems have received prestigious awards in the energy field. Moreover, Phong Energy Group accompanies businesses applying for the International Renewable Energy Certificate (IREC) through the subsidiary VP Carbon Solutions. Owning an IREC certificate helps companies meet international requirements in demonstrating the use of renewable energy. The development of clean energy, including PPA model systems, benefits businesses and actively contributes to Vietnam's energy transition and efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It aligns with Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 7, as well as Goals 8, 13, and 17.